Back here for the start of the second game. Sorry we're a little bit late getting into it, but back here at Forest Glen Park, second game of the doubleheader. This is a 7-inning game. St. Francis won the first game 10-9 in maybe the most controversial finish this coach has ever seen in 1,600 games of coaching at the college level. But as it were, St. Francis wins 10-9. First batter for them in the top of the first inning is Jack Belchner, and he hits a ground ball back to the pitcher. Next batter is the third baseman, Aiden Lichtensteiger. He fouls the ball off down the right field line. Lichtensteiger was 1 for 4 in the first game. I've got Joey Butch here in the press box helping me with the second game today. Joey played here. Huntington graduated in 2023, and he was a pitcher for our program. Now lives down around Indianapolis, and appreciate him coming up to help with the second game. Lichtensteiger fouls off the 3-1 pitch. Is that 3-1 or 2-1?
I believe that was 2-1.
2-1, okay. I can't tell with the sun on the scoreboard. There's a ground ball that to first base. Pelletier goes down and fields it, goes to the bag. I think he hits the bag this time, and first base umpire calls him out, so that's good. We're off to a good start, Joey.
We are. It's improvements.
This brings up the DH, Cole Kentz, who was 1 for 4 in the first game. There's a breaking ball fouled off down the right field line. St. Francis is hitting against freshman left-hander for Huntington, Kai Newman. Newman comes in to this year at 4-1 with a 4.7 ERA. There's a ground ball to second, goes underneath the second baseman's glove. That will be an error. So Kentz gets on with the error by Willard at second base. And that will bring up Andrew Zellers, the right fielder. First pitch to Zellers is in for a strike. Zellers pitched some in the first game but did not hit. So he did hit on Thursday, was in the lineup for a couple of times. There's a ball, 1-1.
That one looked good.
Yeah, I'm just going to say whether it's a ball or strike. And I'm not going to comment on location or anything like that, or I'll probably get ran out of here. So there's a little bleeder into right field. That's going to drop. Lichtensteiger's going to try to go to third. Now he stops at second. So that'll be a base hit for Cole Kentz, Andrew Zellers. Kentz goes to second base. And that brings up Kaysen Orabello. Orabello was 1 for 5 in the first game. First pitch to Orabello is a fastball outside. There's a fastball in on his hand, swung on and missed. That's a good pitch. That's tough to hit for a left-hander. So 1 ball, 1 strike is the count. That pitch is a breaking ball up high. 2 balls and a strike. So Newman had a chance for a quick inning, but an error by second baseman has extended the inning, and there's a ground ball just foul at third base. And that's tough, isn't it, Joey? Because now that maybe takes an inning away from you on the back end because you're just throwing more pitches in the first inning when you think you're out of the inning.
Yeah, even if it's 5 or 10 pitches, those add up.
Yep. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's fouled straight back, fastball. Orbella had a good cut at that.
Good thing for Kai, though. Second game is a 7-inning game.
Yeah. There's a breaking ball outside. Count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. So the runners will be off and running here with 2 outs. Pick at second. They had him picked off, but they didn't have any defensive player at the bag because minute he raised his leg, he jumped. So we'll do it all over again. Forsters have a shift on for Arabello. Here's the 3-2 pitch. That ball is down low. That's a walk. So that'll bring up the catcher, Xavier Edgar. Edgar played on Thursday. I'm trying to look and see what he did here. I can't find it. There's a fastball down low, first pitch. Pitch, I'm guessing, is high. Two balls and no strikes. There's a strike, 2-1. Newman sets, delivers. Swung on and foul tipped at the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Newman tried to get out of the first with no run scored. He's 1 pitch away from being able to do that. He comes set. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled again at home plate. Count remains 2-2. Newman comes set. 2-2 pitch. High, ball 3. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Runners will be off and running again. The 3-2 pitch is fouled off over the first base dugout. There's another foul ball down the right field line. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Still the count. Newman comes set. Pitch inside. That's ball 4, and that walks in a run. So the Cougars jump in front 1-0. The runner that reached on the air at second base comes all the way around to score with 2 outs. And that brings up Owen Zimmerman. Zimmerman in left field for this game, as he was for the first game today. There's a fastball up high. Is that high?
Gotta be.
Is it?
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Ball one. There's a line drive into left field, and boy, Owen Immel had him played perfectly, shading him towards the line, and boy, he was really shallow and was able to make the catch on the run. But the Cougars do score 1 run without the benefit of a hit. I think I'm right about that. Maybe Zellers had a base hit.
Yeah, they had 1 hit.
So 1 hit. They score 1. Foresters are coming to bat here in the bottom of the first inning. So, Joey, tell folks out there what you're doing now.
Yeah, so I graduated with a business degree and then got my master's that 5th year here. So I after I got done playing a little bit of the indie ball, pro ball, I was trying to put those to use. And so now I'm working for a software company in Indy, doing some sales for them. Actually, Noah Comstock, former player here, was working for them before and introduced me to his boss, and that's kind of how I got in there. But yeah, I've been there for about a year, just kind of feeling it out. The business world, it's much different than your job being a student and then being down here every day. This was a lot more fun, I'll tell you that for sure.
Yeah, so I guess I thought Noah was going to go into some type of aeronautics or something because his dad is a pilot, right?
Yeah.
And I thought that he might follow in his dad's footsteps, but Noah was here for 3 years, I think, and then transferred to Asbury down in Kentucky to finish out his career. And so leading off here in the first inning for the Foresters is center fielder Jace Fowler. Fowler takes the first pitch for a strike. Fowler was 0 for 3 in the first game with 2 walks. Foresters are hitting against Dawson French, who comes in at 1-2 with a 7.9 ERA. 1-1 pitch that's popped up into left field. Center fielder overruns it a little bit. And the ball drops. Fowler's running and makes it all the way to second base.
That's why you run him out.
That's right. So I don't know if that's a hit or an error. What'd they give him? Give him an error. Gave the center fielder an error. I'm okay with that. Owen Immel batting second for the Foresters. Owen was 1 for 3 with an intentional walk in the first game. There's a pop up to second base, or shortstop. Really need to advance the runner in that situation. Huntington not able to do that. So that'll bring up Kiefer Wilson. Wilson had 3 walks in the first game. He was 2 for 3 other than that with a home run, his 11th of the year. There's a fastball for a called strike, 0-1. Breaking ball that's fouled off towards the backstop. Quickly 0-2, the count on Kiefer Wilson. Did Satchel come up with you?
Yeah, yep,
Okay.
he's down here.
He's welcome to come up here if he wants to. 0-2 the count on Wilson. There's a ball hit to second base. Up and throwing to first. That's the second out of the inning. Fowler moves to third base. And that'll bring up Cam Clarkson. Clarkson in the first game had a base hit his first time up. And then had a strikeout, a fielder's choice, a ground ball out. So he's maybe due a little bit here. First pitch, ball's in the dirt. Gets by the catcher. Here comes Fowler in to score. So Huntington comes back to tie the game up at 1 on a pass, or not a pass ball, wild pitch in the dirt. First pitch to Cam Clarkson. So the count is 1-0. There's a foul ball off his foot. Takes the count to 1-1.
Tell you what, Cam's really embraced the backside approach. Most guys don't throw him in anymore. And then when they do, we saw last weekend, he can still do damage with it. But, I'd always joke with him, he's a backside guy now.
One of the things he worked really hard on in the fall.
Yeah.
Was hitting the ball backside because he knew teams would throw him away, and especially with lefties.
Yeah.
And Thad tried to get him in scrimmages where he's primarily hitting against lefties. And I think that's helped him.
Absolutely. I mean, he's hit a ton of hard hit balls into that left center gap.
We had a guy here named Andrew Drummond who has some of our hitting records. And Drum, whenever he got 2 strikes, he would just widen out and use his hands to hit the ball. Clarkson ground ball to second base. So that will end the inning, but the Foresters come up with a tying run on a wild pitch with Jace Fowler at third base. Yeah, I think that's one thing I appreciate about players over the years that I coach. They look at, okay, what is it that I do that I need to get better at? And they set about getting better, and that's what he's done. That's what he's done.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because we all know he's got that power, and those homers to those pull side bombs that he hits, those are going to come anyway.
Yep.
And when he can drive the ball in the left center gap too, it just makes it that much harder to pitch against him.
No doubt. I don't even remember how many home runs he has.
I think he has 3 this year. 4?
Let's see. He has 3. 3 home runs, and coming into the series, 24 RBI. So we'll see if Kai can have a shutdown inning here in the top of the second inning. This will be Aslan Nolan leading off. He was 0 for 2 of the first game. Came in as a replacement about halfway through the game and had a couple at-bats. It's a breaking ball for a called strike. Fastball called strike, quickly 0-2 on Nolan. Oh, 2 pitch, fastball up and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch. That's down in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I would imagine it's going to get chilly out there in this one, Joey.
Yeah. Yep.
So when the sun starts to set. 2-2. There's a ground ball to third base. Reinhardt's on the run, makes the throw across the infield.
Good play.
Good job, Tanner. So 1 out here in the top of the second inning. And this brings up Gage Blanchard. He was 1 for 2 in the first game. Had a very nice bunt for a hit. I think he was trying to do a sack, but it was just such a good bunt that he was able to beat it out. So first pitch is down low for ball 1. There's a fastball up high. 2 balls and no strikes. Three balls and no strikes. There's a strike. 3 balls and a strike to the number 9 hitter, Gabe Blanchard. Ball up high. So we walked the 9 hitter, something you can't do, Joey. He may be a fine young man, but there's a reason why he's hitting 9th. So that brings the leadoff man back up. Jack Belchner. Belchner hit a ground ball back to the mound his first time. There's a ball up high. Looks like Newman's fallen off to the side a little bit, Joey. There's a good pitch.
Saw that when he stayed through it.
Yep, he did there. 1 ball and 1 strike here in the top of the second inning. Forrester's trying to get a split of the series. They lost the first game today 10-9.
There we go.
1-1 pitch is in for a called strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's a ball hit third. That's fair. Reinhardt's dove, caught it, came up, but didn't have a play anywhere, so that will go down as a base hit. And that'll bring up Aiden Lichtensteiger. Hit a ground ball his first time up to first base and was erased 3 unassisted. First pitch in for a strike. Newman comes set. Here's the 1 strike pitch. And that's hit a ton into left center field. And that ball is off the fence. 2 runs are going to score. And that's a 2-run double for Lichtensteiger. And St. Francis is back in front 3-1. That'll bring the DH Cole Kentz to the plate. He reached in the first inning on an error by second baseman Owen Willard. First pitch is a ball. Fastball up high, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 pitch. That's popped up into center field. Owen Willard cannot make the catch. Tried to make an over-the-shoulder catch. Couldn't do it. Lichtensteiger goes to third base. That'll be a base hit. So they have runners at first and second and only one out. So we have time as Forster's pitching coach, Mike Machma, goes to the mound to talk with Newman. St. Francis has jumped in front here with 2 runs in the top of the second. They scored 1 in the first. So far, 2 here in the second. And they lead 3-1. Forsters have not seemed to be able to get St. Francis out consistently except for the second game. They couldn't do it in the first game. They couldn't do it in the first game today. And so far in this game, they can't do it. So credit to St. Francis. They've been, there's a line drive to left field. Left fielder dives, can't make the play. And another run scores. It's now 4-1. And they seem to be zeroed in on Newman. They're hitting the ball really hard. Orabello up, first baseman. He walked his first time. Don't see anything going on in the Foresters' bullpen, which is a little surprising. First pitch is in for a strike for Orabello. Next pitch, breaking ball. Looked like it was a little bit up, Joey.
Yep.
But Orabello could not catch it. So no balls and 2 strikes. There's a ball hit down the left field line. That ball is out of play.
Just goes to show you that ground ball to Tanner a few hitters ago. If it was about 4 feet to our right, more towards him, that could have been ending double play.
Yeah. Two-strike pitch to Orabello. That's outside. Ball 1 ball, 2 strikes. One-two pitch is high. Ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Newman comes set.
Great pitch.
Fastball in the outside corner called, strike 3 on Orabello. So that's the second out of the inning. And it brings up Xavier Edgar, who walked his first time up. Cougars catcher. That's a ball. I think that's high.
May have been in.
What's that?
So it may have been in.
In a little bit. Breaking ball up high, 2 balls and no strikes. Newman throwing a ton of pitches here in the first 2 innings. So this is going to, if the Foresters are going to be successful, it's going to have to be a bullpen day. Fastball up and away, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. I see somebody throwing, but not in earnest down there. I don't think anybody's ready yet. There's a ball four. There's a 4-pitch walk to Edgar. That's the second time he's walked. And that brings up Owen Zimmerman. Zimmerman hit a line drive to left field his first time up that Owen Immel played really well, and a ball that ended the inning. So I think Wilson's out to the mound to waste some time here, Joey, until they can get somebody loose. It's the old go to the mound and stand there until the umpire comes out and breaks it up. Yep.
It's like you've been around the game a little bit.
Yeah. Used to have if I took off my hat and pointed to somebody in the infield, go to the mound and stand there and don't leave until the umpire comes out to get you. So lefty versus lefty here. First pitch to Zimmerman is called strike one, breaking ball. Another breaking ball, called strike two. I don't think Zimmerman's real happy with the call. It's a breaking ball off the outside corner for a ball. Good pitch, made him think about it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Newman comes set. The fastball down low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two pitch. That's called strike 3. Fastball on the outside corner. But damage is done. St. Francis scores 3 runs in the top of the second, and they take a 4-1 lead over the Foresters. Well, Joey, I think we need to answer those runs. I don't know what you think, but
That's the goal, right? Get them back
yeah.
while the other team goes for the shutdown inning.
Well, St. Francis has not come in here and played like a team that was towards the bottom of the standings in the Crossroads League, and not come in and played like a team that was, I think, 9-19 coming in. So to be real blunt with you, they've out-toughed the Foresters. They've outplayed the Foresters, and Huntington's going to have to develop some toughness. They're very talented, but not sure there's a ton of toughness that comes with that right now. So, a lot of experience on this team. A lot of guys that have played a lot of baseball. And so, we'll see what happens.
I think that's the only reason our 2019 team was successful in the Crossroads League was we didn't have a ton of talent, but it was toughness that we didn't care who we were playing. We didn't care what the standings were, what their rank was. We just went in there and played like.
And you guys were too young to realize that you shouldn't be doing this.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We joke about it all the time.
So leading off here in the bottom of the second is Zach Pelletier. First pitch is down low, ball. Pelletier had a sacrifice fly, walked, got hit twice at the plate in the first game, also struck out. There's a chopper to third base. Third baseman bare hands, makes a throw to first. That's a special play right there.
That is one heck of a play.
So 1 out. And that'll bring up Owen Willard. Willard was 1 for 4 in the first game. Had a double. Struck out a couple times. Got hit by a pitch. Well, he's just scuffling at the plate. He seems like he has a lot of those, Joey. You know, in this series, just check swing. Not sure if I want to swing. 0-1 pitch. Fastball outside. Count goes to 1-1. There's a ball low and outside. 2 balls and a strike. There's a line drive into right field, a base hit.
Good piece of hitting there.
What's that?
Good piece of hitting there.
Absolutely. I was watching the right fielder throw to first base thinking he had a play on Willard. So Owen Willard has a base hit to right field. That brings up Tanner Reinhardt's. Reinhardt's has not had a great day. He had a base hit his second time up, but other than that, he struck out 4 times. So we'll see if he can make some contact here. This talented freshman. Okay, he's not allowed to pitch unless the hitter's looking at him.
Looked like he was trying to call time.
Well, that's why he did it, because he saw the guy in his motion. 2 balls and no strikes to Reinhardt. Is that right? The umpire, I thought, said two balls, but it's only 1 ball on the scoreboard. We'll see. Reinhardt's with the ground ball weakly by the third base dugout. Looked like an off-speed pitch that he was a little bit fooled on. Umpire says the count is 1-1. So that's what we'll go with. He's in charge. One pitch low and outside, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Johnny Ankenbrock on deck for the Foresters. There's a pitch off the outside corner for a ball. 3 balls and 1 strike. Good count to hit in for Reinhardt's. There's a ball. Fastball outside. That's ball 4. So Reinhardt's will go to first. Willard will move over to second, and that'll bring up Ankenbrock. Johnny in the first game today was 2 for 5 with a line drive out. So he had a good day. Had 2 base hits his last 2 times up.
He had the game-tying hit, correct?
Top
of the 9th, yeah.
So runners on first and second, 1 out here, bottom of the 3rd. That's a ball. 1-0 the count on Johnny Ankenbrock, playing right field here today. There's a strike, fastball for a strike. 1-1 the count. So breaking ball for a called strike. Count goes to 1-2. I think I said on the air, Joey, first game, this guy was, I thought, the best hitter on this roster in the fall. Just couldn't get him out. And he's hitting against good pitching. RJ and Simmons. And so 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ankenbrock. There's a ball up high, pops out of the catcher's glove. Both runners move up. So Willard to third, Reinhardt's to second. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Ankenbrock. St. Francis infield is back. Forsters can hit a ground ball. They'll give up a run. Strike 3 on a breaking ball. So 2 outs. That'll bring Cade Flores to the plate. Flores walked 3 times in the first game and had a ground ball out and a strikeout. So he was 0 for 2, but was on base 3 times. First pitch is a strike. Like to see this team battle a little bit more with 2 strikes, Joey.
Yeah.
We have too many called third strikes, and this is a team with some athletes on it that just don't work to put the ball in play with 2 strikes. 1 ball, 1 strike to Flores. They're very talented, but that's a grit thing, that comes into play. There's another fastball for a strike. Flores does not offer on it. So he's in the hole, 1 ball and 2 strikes. That ball hit him on the foot. So he'll go to first base. And that brings up Jace Fowler, who reached second base on an error by the center fielder in the first game, or first inning. Ended up coming around to score on a wild pitch that tied the game at that point. Tied the game at 1-1, but St. Francis has scored 3 runs in the top of the second, so to take a 4-1 lead. So we'll see if the Foresters have a big hit here in their arsenal to get back in it. We have time on the field as the St. Francis pitching coach goes to the mound to talk with his pitcher. I feel like this Huntington team, Joey, is one big hit from just exploding.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
That's how that 23 team was. Everybody in the lineup made everybody else in the lineup better.
Yeah.
It was contagious.
Yeah.
Didn't matter if you were leadoff like Satch or 9-hole Bryce Deckman. It was anybody who came up, we were like, this is the guy to get the big hit.
So Jace Fowler in. 2 outs, bases loaded. First pitch is a ball. Count is 1-0 to Jace Fowler. One 0 pitch. It's a ball hit sharply past the first base dugout and down the line. Wait for somebody to go get the ball that rolled into fair territory. Here we go. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Jace Fowler. There's a changeup in the dirt. Jace kind of waves at it. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Fowler. There's a foul ball at the plate. Count stays at 1-2. Owen Immel on deck if Fowler would be able to reach. Worcester's trailing 4-1 or here in the bottom of the second. Jace hits a weak fly ball to the outfield. Doesn't run it out. That's a problem. So the Foresters go down here in the bottom of the second inning.
New arm coming in.
Get a number. 3, okay. This is Carter Walker coming into the game. I think Carter threw an inning on Thursday, but he came into the series 0-0 with a 6.75 ERA. 4 strikeouts and 1 walk in 2 2/3 innings pitched.
This says he's a junior. Has he been here all 3 years?
He's a redshirt junior.
Redshirt guy.
Yeah, he's from Santa Claus, Indiana. You know, Huntington's kind of in some ways, a little bit of a hodgepodge. They've got, senior behind the plate, senior at second base. But other than that, it's a lot of freshmen and sophomores. So,
yeah, they definitely have a lot of young pieces. I remember talking to Thad about that when I came down here in the fall, watched a couple of their scrimmages.
Nolan leading off here for St. Francis in the top of the third inning. Nolan hit a ground ball to third base his first time up. Anna Reinhardt's made a nice play on that. There's a ball that goes, the first pitch goes to the backstop. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That goes to the backstop as well. That's off the glove of Tanner Reinhardt's, up high. So 2 balls and no strikes. There's a fastball up high, ball 3. I don't think the Foresters have a lot of leeway here, Joey. I think if somebody's not throwing strikes, you got to get them out. You're behind.
Yeah.
There's a strike. So Carter throws a strike 3-0, and he'll come back with a 3-1 pitch here. And that's way up high over Nolan's head. That's ball 4. So we walk the leadoff man. That brings up the number 9 hitter, Gabe Blanchard, who walked his first time up. So Blanchard will bat, and then we're back to the top of the order that's done damage here today. So Huntington is not in a great place right now. They're going to have to fight their way through this. There's a breaking ball for a called strike. St. Francis has just played really, really well. I've been impressed with how they've played, how hard they've played. Next pitch. That's up high. Blanchard is squared to bunt both of the first two pitches, and the count is now 1-1. He squares again and bunts first base side. And first baseman stays at home. Pitcher goes to pick it up and make a play, and it's too late. He beats it out. So first two runners on here in the top of the third. This is Jack Belchner, and he is 1 for 2 on the day. Had a base hit his last time up. He squares the bunt. So he bunted through it. Wilson threw the ball to second base like he's taught to do, and now he seems to be having some arm issues. Did he hit the bat?
That's what my guess was on the follow-through.
Okay. He hit the bat with his on the follow-through. Maybe has a little bit of a stinger in the funny bone.
Did he offer at that bunt attempt on that pitch?
I thought he did. That's why Wilson threw the ball to second.
Yeah.
Because we always taught guys if he bunts through it, then you got to throw to the base. Because, as a base runner, what are you trying to do? I'm trying to get a good jump off the bunt. And so your weight is typically out on your front foot, and you might have a chance for a pickoff in that situation. So, in my opinion, he did the right thing. It's just, ran into the bat in the process of doing it. So St. Francis has runners at first and second, nobody out. We'll see. He squares the bunt again and fouls it off. So that'll be the second strike.
So on a play like that where Kiefer's going to backpick him, does the batter have the whole box to work with?
No.
Even if he's leaning over?
He's supposed to stay in the box. Yeah. As long as his feet are in the box.
Right.
Obviously can't do anything intentional.
Great pitch.
Called strike 3 on a breaking ball. So Belchner goes down looking. That'll bring Lichtensteiger to the plate. Lichtensteiger had a 2-run double his last time up. He is 1 for 2 on the game in the game. There's a ball inside. Lichtensteiger turned away from that pitch, and it almost got him. One 0 pitch is a breaking ball for a strike. Counts 1-1. Walker comes set. Fastball in. It's fouled off down the third baseline. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Carter trying to make a pitch here with St. Francis's best hitter at the plate. Breaking ball outside. Two balls and two strikes to Lichtensteiger. There's a ground ball into left field. It's a base hit. Cougars are going to go up 5-1 as Nolan scores from second base. Had to bring up Cole Kent's. St. Francis DH had a base hit his last time up. He's 1 for 2 on the day. There's a breaking ball for a called strike to Kent's. St. Francis has had their way with the Foresters here in this second game of the day. First game was really competitive. St. Francis won it in the bottom of the ninth. There's a ground ball to third. Steps on the bag, throws to first. That's a good play. So double play ends the inning, but St. Francis scores another run. So we'll go to the bottom of the third inning, and the Foresters will have Emmel, Wilson, and Clarkson up. So are you enjoying what you're doing now?
Yeah. It took me a real long time to adjust from the athlete lifestyle to, working a career type job.
And you played, tell us what you did in pro ball. I know you played a couple independent situations. Where did that happen?
Yeah, so after the 23 season, playing through the injury, I ultimately had to get surgery. After that, rehabbed and worked that whole year to try and play again. And then I ended up getting a call from the MLB Draft League, which I actually didn't know was a professional league for the second half of the summer. So I thought it was just a college summer league for guys who are getting ready for the draft. And then the second half of it are guys without any more eligibility for college.
Okay.
Or who just want to go into pro ball. And so that's who called me there and played with them over in Ohio.
Okay. Joey got injured his senior year, tore the tendon in his elbow after he was off to a magnificent start. Ended up pitching through it his senior year and then had Tommy John surgery. Turn the music off! Sorry about that, folks. That seems to happen quite a bit. First pitch to Owen Emmel leading off the inning. Owen in left field again this game is a fastball up and away. There's a fastball inside. So 2-0 the count. So the Foresters need some base runners. 2-0 the count. Fastball right there. 2 balls and 1 strike. There's a ball fouled off towards the first base dugout. Did your velocity come back after surgery? How was it compared to before surgery?
What's funny about that is I actually hit my highest velocity at Taylor the week that I just said, screw it, I'm going to play through this injury. So with the torn UCL, I hit 94, which is
I
the highest
remember.
I've ever
I
hit.
remember that. Yeah.
But it came back a little bit. Get through.
There's a ground ball to second base, scooped up by Nolan, throws to first, and Immel is retired for the first out of the inning. That brings up the catcher, keeper Wilson. Wilson hit a ground ball to second base his first time up. There's a fastball for a strike. It's a breaking ball. That's a ball. 1-1 the count. Ball's in the dirt. Bounces away from the catcher. And the count goes to 2-1. St. Francis leading here in the bottom of the third inning, leading 5-1. Wilson with a swing and a miss. So the count goes to 2-2. It's a breaking ball that's, I'm guessing, high, Joey?
Had to be.
Yeah. So 3 balls and 2 strikes on the Forster catcher. Here's the 3-2 pitch. That ball's in the dirt. And that'll be ball 4. Wilson goes to first base. And running for Wilson at first will be Parker Richard. Brings up Cam Clarkson for his second at-bat of the day. Hit a ground ball to second base his first time up. Fastball down low. Ball 1. Need to say hi to my grandkids, Lawson and Reese, if they're listening at Grandma's house. There's a breaking ball down low. Say hi to my sister in Florida. Say hi to Joey's mom and dad if they're listening. Probably not. They got better things to do, right?
No, they tune in. They tune in a good amount. They still keep tabs.
2-0 pitch. Fastball for a strike. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Stephen Shea, right?
Yep.
It's a throw to first base, but no play on Parker Richard. Richard comes into this game, I think, with 16 stolen bases. There's a fastball up high.
Did he redshirt as well, Parker? At all?
I don't think so.
No.
There's 3 balls and a strike to Cam Clarkson. There's the ball high. So Cam will go to first. Parker Richard will go to second. And that brings up first baseman Zach Pelletier.
Really need to capitalize on back-to-back walks there.
Yep. Time is going to run out quickly. There's a fastball outside. As Yogi Berra used to say, it's going to get late early. So 1-0 the count. Pelletier, who hit a ground ball to third base his last time up. There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. I think that's the play that Lichtensteiger barehanded and threw him out at first. Yep. That was a nice play. 1 ball, 1 strike is the count. There's a ball that's up high, 2 balls and a strike. Looks like there's beginning to get some action in the bullpen, although those are 2 catchers throwing, aren't they?
No, one looks like a pitcher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's a breaking ball for a strike. Strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two pitch, ball 3 up high. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Pelletier. Here's a 3-2 pitch. Swung on foul into the third base dugout. Looked like a breaking ball. Dr. Ethan Haney is in the booth. Here's a 3-2 pitch. That's ground ball up the middle. Shortstop is able to field it, flip to the second baseman on the bag, but the second baseman was not able to hold on. So I think that's probably going to have to be a base hit. I don't know.
Yeah, I would give that a hit personally.
So Owen Willard comes up with 1 out and the bases loaded. Willard had a base hit his last time up. There's a breaking ball down low. 1 ball, no strikes. The Foresters have an opportunity in the third to get back in it. There's a ground ball to short. That's going to be a double play. In the inning. 6-4-3 to end the inning. So the Foresters are denied again. And we'll go to the top of the 4th with the score. St. Francis 5, Huntington 1. So we're back here in the top of the 4th inning. Huntington had the bases loaded in the bottom of the 3rd. And could not score, so they're still trailing 4-1. The new pitcher for Huntington is Brady Schrader. Schrader threw, I believe, an inning on Thursday, so he's already thrown in the series. First pitch is in for a strike. This is Andrew Zellers up to the plate, and he's quickly behind. No balls and 2 strikes. There's a breaking ball up high. Count goes to 1-2. One-two pitch. That's a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Whew. 2-2 pitch is fouled sharply into the third base dugout, or first base dugout. Luckily, nobody is hurt down there. There's a ground ball up the middle, and that'll be a base hit. Just a chopper over the mound that nobody could get to. So Zellers has a leadoff hit. That's his 3rd hit of the game. And that brings up the first baseman, Kaysen Orabello, who's walked and struck out in his 2 times to the plate. St. Francis now out-hit Huntington 8-2. There's a bunt, and that'll be a base hit. Bunt to third base. Not sure why we're playing the third baseman off the line that much, but that's the way it is. That's an easy. You could square around, bunt it, fall down, and still make it to first base because there's nobody there to field the ball. Xavier Edgar is the batter. Guaranteed he's probably going to bunt. Nope. That's a ball. First pitch for a ball. Edgar's walked twice in this game, so he's been on base twice. There's a fastball for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A little bit surprised not to see him square.
Yeah, I am too. That's kind of what I agree with you. He is hitting in the 6th spot. Maybe they don't want to bunt to bring the bottom of the order up. I don't know, but 2-1 the count. There's a fastball for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Edgar, the St. Francis catcher. You know, sometimes you wonder about those things. Why is he bunting, that kind of thing? But Butch knows his team better than I do. Pitcher turns and throws the ball into center field on a pickoff attempt. Both runners move up. You don't have to worry about bunting now, Joey.
Nope.
So Huntington did it for him. So nobody out. Runners at second and third now. Infield's got to come in. Can't give him any more runs. Not in the 4th inning. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed for the first out of the inning. That will bring up Owen Zimmerman. He's hit a line drive to left field and struck out. He was 1 for 4 in the first game today. Schrader throws the ball in the dirt. That's blocked by Wilson. That's ball 1. Don't see any activity in the Huntington bullpen. That ball's down. That's 2-0. Looked like the umpire said it was 1-0. That I must have missed a finger. There's a breaking ball for a called strike. That's a good pitch. In on his hands. Zimmerman probably did a good job taking that, Joey, because I don't know that he's going to do a whole lot with that.
Probably chopping it to the second baseman.
Yeah. 2-1 pitch. That's high. Ball 3. 3-1. There's a ball in the dirt, ball 4. So Zimmerman goes to first base. Bases are now loaded with 1 out. And that brings up Aslam Nolan, second baseman. He's grounded to third base and walked. Huntington is going to play the middle back, looking for a double play. This guy runs pretty well. I'm not sure that unless the ball's hit hard. There's a ball taken for strike 1. The ball hit into center field. That's going to drive in a run. Sacrifice fly. Throw into the plate. And that'll make the score 6-1. So that's 2 outs. And it looks like we have a pinch hitter. Looks like we have a pinch hitter, number 34. I know he's hit before. It's Ashton Tuttle. Ashton Tuttle hitting for Gage Blanchard here with 2 outs in the top of the 4th inning. Still runners at first and second. That ball's in the dirt, blocked by Wilson. Schrader sets. Pitch outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Looks like somebody is throwing in the Huntington bullpen now. Two and 0 the count. That ball's fouled off. Two-one pitch outside, 3-1. There's a ball hit in center field, right at the center fielder. Tuttle hit it hard, but right at the center fielder for the 3rd out of the inning. But St. Francis scores again. They've scored in every inning. and have 9 hits, 6 runs. They're ahead of Huntington 6-1 going to the bottom of the 4th. Back here in the bottom of the 4th inning, Huntington is trailing 6-1. St. Francis looking for the doubleheader sweep of the Foresters today and take the series 3-1. Tanner Reinhardt's is back up to the plate. Reinhardt's walked his first time up. First pitch is a ball. Foresters need to begin to chip away here a little bit. 5 runs down with 4 innings to play. There's a breaking ball for a strike. Maybe develop a little bit of a sense of urgency here. Reinhardt's with a big swing, comes up empty on a breaking ball. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's a ball popped up on the right side. Looks like it's out of play. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's called strike 3 on a fastball, the outside part of the plate. Joey, that's what I'm talking about right there. We just take too many strikes, too many called third strikes, and that's a grit, that's a competitive problem. So first pitch to Ankenbrock is a ball. There's a fastball for a strike. Fastball low and outside, ball 2, 2-1. It's a breaking ball. Big swing, comes up empty. Two balls and 2 strikes on Johnny Ankenbrock. Here's the pitch. Swung on, strike 3. So he's down on strikes for the second time in this game. And with 2 outs, that'll bring Cade Flores to the plate. Flores was hit by a pitch his first time up. Flores takes a fastball right down the middle for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Takes another ball right down the middle. Strike 2. Not quite sure what we're looking for here. No balls and 2 strikes. Boy, that was a close pitch. Calls it a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And pitcher for St. Francis strikes out the side as Flores comes up empty on a swing. So we'll go to the top of the 5th inning with Huntington trailing 6-1. Looks like another pitcher coming in for Huntington. This might be Gabe Hamrick.
35.
Yeah. Yeah, Gabe Hamrick in the game. He's 0-0 with a 6.23 ERA. This is his 8th appearance of the season. 8.2 innings pitched. He struck out 8 and walked 3. Giving up 12 hits in those 8.2 innings pitched. Well, Joey, I don't see a whole lot of fight in the dog when it comes to the team in the third base dugout.
Doesn't look like it.
I don't know what. I don't know. As we talked about, you'd think playing at home is a big deal, right? And I don't know. But they still have 3 swings left, so.
I mean, we've seen it before with them. We have seen the fight. But that's just one of those things where no matter how talented the team is, it's got to be there every game.
Yeah, it's not like a water faucet that you
yeah.
turn on and off.
So we'll see if they can do it.
Yep. So it looks like Kaufman is in for Ankenbrock. Kaufman's at shortstop. Flores is at second. And Reinhardt's moves to right field. Leading off for St. Francis is the leadoff man, Jack Belchner. 2 balls and no strikes. Belchner is 1 for 3 in this game. He was 1 for 4 in the first game today. There's a line drive into right center field, a base hit. So leadoff man on for St. Francis. And that'll bring up Aiden Lichtensteiger, who's 2 for 3 in this game. Has a double and a base hit. Runner goes, throw to second. No, not in time. So stolen base for St. Francis.
It just feels like they're doing everything right now.
Well, we're not holding runners, Joey. We're not
That too.
doing anything to hold the runner at first. And we're not changing our motion. We're not holding the ball for different times in the glove. We're very easy to read.
Yeah.
And that's just one thing. So no balls and 2 strikes on Lichtensteiger. We've not had good at-bats today. We've not played well defensively. There's not a lot of grit when we get 2 strikes. We just seem to kind of give up on the at-bat. There's a ball outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Lichtensteiger. Not trying to be gloomy, Gus, but this series has surprised me, got to be honest with you. I'm very surprised how Huntington has played in this series. Lichtensteiger strikes out. And this will bring up Cole Kentz, the DH. He's 1 for 3. Grounded into a 5-4-3 double play last time up. Kentz was 1 for 4 in the first game. First pitch is a called strike. I think they said he swung at it, so the plate umpire called it a strike. Another breaking ball that he swings through. Count is 0-2. So Hamrick way ahead here in the count. Another breaking ball. Well, he calls it a ball. Then he checked to see if the hitter had swung. I think okay. It's a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's a ball down in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Kentz has worked things back to even. The count, there's a fastball called strike 3. So that'll be the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Andrew Zellers, who is 3 for 3 on the day. 3 times up, 3 singles. That's a breaking ball for a called strike. That's been a good pitch for Hamrick this inning, is that breaking ball. There's a ball hit into right center field. That'll be a base hit. That'll drive in another run. So that makes the score 7-1. Zellers is 4 for 4 on the day. That'll bring up the first baseman, Arabello. And once again, St. Francis continues with their ability to score in every inning today. 11 hits, 7 runs. Foresters have 1 run on 2 hits. See, that's my point right there. We don't do anything to hold the runner. I think that's a gift out at second base.
Yeah.
Zellers is thrown out trying to steal. So we go to the bottom of the 5th with the Foresters behind 7-1. And okay, back here at Forest Glen Park, bottom of the 5th inning. Jace Fowler to lead off for Huntington. He is 0 for 2 on the day. There's a ball hit hard, foul down the right field line. Huntington trailing 7-1. Lost the first game 10-9. So St. Francis is going for to win the series here, 3-1, and just put a big time damper in any thoughts Huntington had about possibly winning the league. There's a ball down 2-1 on Jace Fowler. I mean, crazier things have happened. It's not the end of the season, but certainly is not. This series is not the way Huntington thought it might go. There's a fastball up and away, 3-1. There's a ball hit to first base, routine. First baseman takes it to the bag, and that's the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Owen Immel. Immel is 0 for 2 on the day. There's a fastball inside, ball 1. There's a ball hit hard to right field, over the right fielder's head and against the fence. Immel will slide into second base with a double. So Immel in scoring position with 1 out. And that'll bring up Kiefer Wilson. Wilson is 0 for 1 on the day with a walk. There's a ball, ball 1. The 1-0 pitch to Wilson. That's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to the Foresters catcher. Hit a home run in the first game today. There's a ground ball chopped to third. Foul ball. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2. Kiefer swings at a ball in the left-handed batter's box for strike 3. So that'd be the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Cam Clarkson, who's walked and hit a ground ball to second base. Clarkson hits a fly ball, pop up into left field. And the third baseman makes a nice play on the ball. That'll be the third out of the inning. So the Foresters go down, leave a runner at second base. And after 5 innings, it's St. Francis 7, Huntington 1. Looks like we've got a change here with Kiefer Wilson going to first base and Zach Pelletier coming in to catch. So the Foresters need to find a way to hold them right here. St. Francis has scored in every inning in the second game today. And they've built a 7-1 lead. They've out-hit Huntington 11-3. Unfortunately, Huntington has out-aired them 2-1. And so a game, if it ends this way, a lot of soul searching by that Huntington team. Kind of see where they're at in the season and what's left and those kind of things. So we'll see what happens. Leading off for St. Francis here in the top of the 6th is Kaysen Orabello. Orabello has walked, struck out, and had a base hit. Not sure what the holdup is. Okay, I guess we're going now. First pitch from Hamrick to Orabello is a fastball outside. Next pitch is a ground ball to second base. Willard up, throws to Wilson at second, or at first, or the third out, and Wilson's throwing the ball around like his arm is hurting.
I noticed that. Something on that throw down.
That's not a good thing. This is Xavier Edgar. Walked twice and struck out, and 3 times at the plate. Swing and a miss, takes the count to 0-2. There's a fastball in the dirt, bounces away from Pelletier. 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's another fastball. It goes all the way to the backstop. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Looks like there's still some activity in Huntington's bullpen. There's a ball, base hit to center field. That brings up Owen Zimmerman. Zimmerman has lined out to left. He's struck out and he's walked in 3 times up. There's a stolen base, second base. St. Francis seems to be running whenever they want to, Joey. And Huntington is not doing anything to try to stop that. So runner at second, 1 out. That's a called strike. That's 0-2 count on Zimmerman. Pitch low and away, fastball, ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's a ball fouled straight back. Zimmerman had a good 2-strike cut on that. That ball had a lot of the plate, probably a little bit more of the plate than Gabe wanted. So it may have got away with a pitch there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's a ball high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. St. Francis trying to score again for the 6th straight inning. And they will. There's a base hit to center field. They're going to score another run here. And the game goes to 8-1 here as Zimmerman hits a base hit into center field. Brings Stad to the mound. We're going to have a pitching change here. Back here to the top of the 6th inning. St. Francis has scored again. They've scored in every inning. It's 8-1. Keegan Shovelin is the new Huntington pitcher. Comes in with Owen Zimmerman at first base. Jordan Davis is the hitter. Jordan Davis hitting for Aslan Nolan. Step off, throw to first. Step off again, throw to first. I might think about pitching out here, Joey.
The way they've been running, you might as well.
Yeah. First pitch to Davis. That's a called strike. No balls and 1 strike. Umpire says the batter attempted on the pitch, so that's strike 2. Keegan looks like to me, Joey, he's working to change things up out there. You know what I mean? In terms of his set position, trying to give the catcher a chance to throw somebody out. There's a base hit to right field. So Davis is aboard. That's St. Francis' 14th hit of the day. That'll bring Gage Blanchard back up to hit. He's had a walk and a hit. Tuttle hit for him his last time up. So he's back in the game. First pitch is down low for a ball. Shovelin comes set. Pitch swung on a miss. Fastball in on his hands. There's a pitch just off the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. There's a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. St. Francis ahead 8-1. There's a pop fly down the right field line. That ball's out of play. Reinhardt's gave chase, but it was beyond the fence. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out here. Runners at first and second for St. Francis. There's a ball outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes now. Three-two pitch. That's a fastball. Swung on and missed by Blanchard. There's 2 outs now. And that'll bring the leadoff man up to the plate. Jack Belchner. He's 2 for 4 on the day. Got a couple hits. First pitch is outside for a ball. One ball and no strike to Belchner here in the top of the 6th inning. Straight pitch, ground ball to first base. I'm not sure what that was.
Spinner.
Okay. Ground ball to first base that apparently spins out of the way of Kiefer Wilson and goes into right field. A run scores to make it 9-1. It's the 15th hit in the game for St. Francis. And that'll bring up Aiden Lichtensteiger, who's got 2 hits on the day. One of those a double. There's a stolen base. No play from our catcher. So 1 ball and no strikes to Lichtensteiger. The ball outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Ball 3-0. Strike 1. Ball outside, ball 4. That'll bring up Cole Kentz. Breaking the action here. Forcer's pitching coach to the mound. So Cole Kentz, St. Francis DH, is at the plate with the bases full. 2 outs here in the tops of the 6th inning. St. Francis already leading 9-1. There's a fastball for a strike. Oh, one pitch that swung on and missed. It's a ball down. No balls and 2 strikes to Cole Kentz here in the top of the 6th inning. There's a ball in the dirt, goes to the backstop. 1 run is going to score. Catcher's got no chance on that. Just spiked it in the opposite batter's box. 1 run scores, makes it 10-1. One ball and 2 strikes on Cole Kentz. There's a swung on and missed breaking ball. That ends the inning, but St. Francis scores 3 more times to, I'm afraid, put this game out of reach. It's 10-1. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll see what happens. Back here at Forest Glen Park, where St. Francis is taking Huntington to the woodshed here in this 2nd game. It's 10-1. They have 15 hits. Huntington has 2. St. Francis has scored in every inning. So this is quite the surprise. Pelletier to lead it off. Pelletier's grounded to third and had a base hit in 2 times up. There's a fastball taken for a strike. There's a ball hit to shortstop. Shortstop's going to boot that. That'll be an E6. That'll bring up Owen Willard. Willard's had a base hit and then grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. Fastball up high. 1 ball, no strikes. Joey, you're for quiet.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot of positives going on.
No, it's not
anymore.
Willard takes a breaking ball for a strike. Yeah, it goes to 1-1. Dawson French on the mound. Boy's done a great job. Another breaking ball for a strike. Willard does not offer. One ball and two strikes. Willard with a ground ball to short, 6-4. And Willard is safe at first base. So they get the 6-4 put out. Willard reaches on the fielder's choice. Dylan Luther in to hit for Reinhardt's. Takes the first pitch for a strike. Next pitch up high, ball one. One ball and one strike. Braden Kaufman is on deck for Huntington. There's a breaking ball for a strike. Is it just me or is Huntington taking a lot of strikes?
Have been all game.
There's a ball outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Luther fouls off a pitch over the first base dugout to stay alive and to count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fastball up high, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Luther swung on and missed. Fastball away. This brings up Braden Kaufman. Kaufman takes a ball, first pitch. Kaufman takes a fastball for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Which throws to first. Drive the runner back to first. Ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. Looked like a breaking ball, maybe just off the outside corner. Good pitch. There's a ball hit sharply to third, up to second for the force out, and that'll end the inning, bottom of the 6th. So Foresters do not score. And we'll head to the last inning with the score: St. Francis 10, Huntington 1. back here at Forest Glen Park. Another new pitcher for the Foresters is right-hander Tate Mullen. This will be Tate's second appearance of the year. Pitched an inning up at Bethel last weekend. So he's pitched one inning for the Foresters. Got a live arm, so we'll see how things go in this inning. Foresters down 9 runs, 10-1. As St. Francis bats here in the top of the 9th. St. Francis has scored in every inning. They've out-hit the Foresters 15-2. Is that a 3 or a 2 up there, Joey?
Looks like a 2.
2. So it's just been a total domination from St. Francis on Huntington University today. Foresters had a tough loss in the first game. We won't go into it. We've talked about it kind of ad nauseum at this point. Shouldn't have lost. But that's the way things go. And this game, Huntington has just not shown up in any way. Hasn't shown up on the mound, hasn't shown up at the plate. And I think a game that you have to question some things for the Foresters. You have to question the heart, their grit, the toughness. Hasn't been on display today. Joey, am I wrong?
You're not wrong at all.
Okay. Tate's first pitch is in for a strike. Next pitch is dropped in foul territory by the shortstop. So that should be an error. I don't know if they'll count that, but that should be an error. So an easy pop-up down the left field line, and we just drop it. So the count goes to 0-2. There's a ball low. There's strike 3. Umpire didn't really ring him up, Joey, so I wasn't quite sure. So Tyler Bott comes in hitting 167 in 36 plate appearances. He has 6 hits. Three RBI. So he is hitting for Orabello. I believe. 19's on deck. Yeah. Tate so far has come out of the house throwing strikes, and that's what you need from a reliever. It really needs to be strike 1, strike 2. There's a chopper hit to shortstop. Kaufman comes in, throws on the run. That's the second out of the inning. So that brings up Xavier Edgar. He's walked twice, struck out, and had a base hit his last time up. First pitch for Mullen is in the dirt. Ball one. One 0 pitch is fouled off down the right field line. Out of play. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, I appreciate you coming up here today.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's better to sit up here in the heat than to sit down there right in the cold. So
Yeah, I did 5 years of sitting in the cold in the dugout.
Hey, don't talk to me. I've done 40 years, okay?
That's fair. You got me beat there.
Man, it used to be you'd be on the road and you'd be frozen and you get in the vans and you go get something to eat and get your belly full and then you're driving home and it's all you can do to stay awake sometimes. There's a ball hit into center field. Fowler will track that down, and the Foresters, for the first time today, keep St. Francis off the scoreboard in an inning. So, got to look at the little things. So we go to the bottom of the our 7th inning with Huntington behind 10-1. Looks like we got a new pitcher for St. Francis. You guys help me out with a number here.
54. Yeah, 54.
54.
Luke Wessel.
Okay, this is, we think, Luke Wessel, if Joey's not leading me astray. So this is his 5th appearance of the year. He has 11.25 ERA. In 4 innings, he struck out 3 and walked 6. So we'll see what young Luke has for us here. Gabe Flores will lead off the inning for the Foresters. Started the game at shortstops, now playing third base. He's been hit by a pitch, and he's also struck out. Foresters are back in action this coming Thursday when they start their 4-game series with Goshen. Scheduled for Thursday and Saturday. And we hope that you'll tune in again. This old ball coach is working to be positive, so I'm sure my wife will tell me if I'm not, but this has been a frustrating day in a lot of different ways. But hopefully the Foresters can rebound and against the series against Goshen. So this is Cade Flores up. He's hit by a pitch and struck out his last time. And once again, left-hander Luke Wessel is on the mound. There's a strike on a fastball, first pitch. There's another fastball for a strike. Cade's looked at a lot of fastballs today.
Yeah, it's back-to-back at-bats where he's looked at 2 fastball strikes.
Not sure what we're doing. I can see taking the first pitch. I understand that. You're down 10-1. But after that, you got to. There's a breaking ball outside for ball 1. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cade Flores. There's a fastball. Cade's a little bit late on, fouls it over the third base dugout. One-two pitch again. That hits him. Hits him in the back of the helmet. So he'll take his base. That'll bring up Jace Fowler. Fowler is 0 for 3 on the day. On deck is Owen Immel. His fastball up to Fowler. I don't know if that has them taken until they get a strike. I'm doubtful, down 9 runs.
Yeah, I would be doubtful as well.
There's a breaking big that drops in for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. We do have activity down there, right? In the St. Francis bullpen.
Yep.
There's a ball hit towards right field. Second baseman fields it. Throws to first from his backside. And that's the first out of the inning. Owen Immel's 1 for 3, had a double his last time up. There's a breaking ball for a strike. So now Flores at second base with 1 out. Moves up on the ground out by Jace Fowler. Immel swings and misses at a breaking ball. Actually swings and foul tips it at home plate. So no balls and 2 strikes on Owen Immel. There's a ball in the dirt, gets by the catcher. Cade Flores will move up to third base. That'll be a wild pitch. So 1-2 the count on Owen Immel with Flores at third base. There's a ball up and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Owen Immel looking for his second hit of the day, of the game. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's a ball hit hard into right center field. Center fielder cannot catch it. And that'll be a triple for Owen Immel. Boy, he hit that ball a long way, Joey.
Yeah, he did. That was deepest part of the park right there, maybe.
So he has a triple. Drives in a run. That'll bring up Kiefer Wilson.
When Immel goes up there looking to attack, he's dangerous.
Yeah.
But when he waits around for a perfect pitch, that's when he gets in his own head, I think.
He's really been really good since he came off the injury. He's been really, really solid.
Yeah.
First pitch to Wilson is a fastball outside. There's a fastball on the outside corner. Strike one. There's a wild swing. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Wilson. Sometimes he swings like he's completely fooled. That was one of those times. And then he'll come back and hit a ball off somebody's forehead. So there's a ball hit to shortstop. That'll drive in another run. So Wilson is out 6-3. That'll bring up Clarkson to hit. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning. St. Francis up 10-3. There's a fastball in. 1 ball and no strikes. Breaking ball for a called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Fastball down in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. There's a ball that Clarkson hits off his hands, fouls it over the first base, third base dugout.
Sash has to make that play on that ball coming off.
Is he down there? Is that the gray sweatshirt?
Yeah, he's got to make that play.
I am disappointed in him.
Yeah.
Wow. I tell you what, his mom would have been diving after that ball.
Oh, Amy,
So-
yeah.
Yeah. So that's an embarrassment to the Wilson family.
Yeah.
2 balls and 2 strikes here on Cam Clarkson. Here's a ball in the dirt. Boy, the catcher working hard. It's 10-3. Nobody's on base, but he's working to block balls, and that's impressive. That's very impressive. Well done, young man. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Clarkson. And there's a line drive hit to center field. That's over the center fielder's head. And Clarkson will cruise into second base with a double. So Clarkson extends the game for Pelletier to hit.
Tell you what,
Pelletier is 1 for 3. Go ahead.
Feels like these are some of the best ABs, not only of this game, but even last game that we've seen out of these guys. They're working the count.
Yeah.
Swinging. It's like they're finally playing loose.
There's a strike to Pelletier. Yeah, I never know quite how to handle these situations, Joey, when I coached. Do I want my team being loose even though they're getting spanked? Or, I know it doesn't help to tighten up or anything. There's a ball hit down the right field line. Foul. You know what I mean? How do you handle that?
Yeah, I mean it's all in the culture at Huntington, obviously, we pride ourselves in that culture that we build with the team. And, you know, when you've got the older guys that have been here as freshmen, I think that's where it's got to come from. You know, this team's got a lot of older guys that are transfers, which is always good.
Yeah.
But I think it has to come from them as well.
No balls and 2 strikes on Pelletier. There's a fastball away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wow, it's almost 7:30. We've been down here for 6.5 hours. Where else would you rather be, though? I mean, there's a ball hit down the left field line. The ball is caught. So that'll end the game. Kind of went out of our sight there down the left field line. So Pelletier flies out. And that's the end of the game. St. Francis wins the doubleheader. They win the first game 10-9. They win the second game 10-3. And I wouldn't be able to say much about today except what a disappointment it is. St. Francis played well. Kudos to them. And so they just came in here and spanked Huntington 2 times on their own field. So very, very impressed with that. And so Dad's got to get instant replay down on the field, Joey, because the umpires needed to see that play at first base that they overturned. They need to see that.
Yeah.
And apparently you can't have instant replay unless it's on the field. Softball team has it. Baseball team needs to have it. And if they have that down on the field, they win the first game. So
it's a whole different tone going in the game too.
Yep. Guys, I'm gonna hang around for a minute, see if Thad's coming. Okay. So